And welcome to Ninja no Mi. Today, continuing with Boruto's videos, let's talk about a mysterious character. There is a character of the new generation that bears a great resemblance to Kakashi, which led many people to believe that he could be their son, but at the end of Naruto Shippuden, and not even in Boruto, we see Kakashi revealing that he actually has a son. What makes us very intrigued is the great similarity that this character has with Kakashi, both in appearance and in the fighting style that Hoki presented to us, practically being the Kakashi of this new generation. In today's video we will talk about Hoki Take Torai. We will talk if he is really Kakashi's son or has a connection with the Hokage, and why does Hoki have a great resemblance to the former leader of Team 7. We will explain everything in this video, and I already count on your help to leave your like in the video to support the channel. I also hope you subscribe if you're still new here, and leave your comments saying your opinions and what the next videos you want to see here on the channel. Now let's go to the video. Guys, we still don't know much about Hoki Take Torai, as the new ninjas of this generation are still having their stories explained by the author. Little by little we are getting to know each one of them, but with the little shown about the history of Hoki Take Torai we can have a great idea of who he would be. Contrary to what many may think, he is not Kakashi's son, even though his appearance is very similar to his. So far, Kakashi has not revealed to have any children or even to be married, but that doesn't change the fact that Hoki has a connection with Kakashi. Hoki Take Torai doesn't have a similar look to Kakashi by mere coincidence. He has been inspired by the 6th Hokage since his childhood, with Kakashi being the main reason he wants to get stronger, having Kakashi as an inspiration. As Kakashi's accomplishments made Hoki acquire great respect for him, this is what made him want to become a ninja like his inspiration Kakashi in the future. Kakashi so far has not shown any connection with Hoki, but in the future this may occur. Even though Kakashi is no longer doing the work of a Hokage, he is still very busy, which makes it impossible for this meeting to happen. Even though they've already met in person a few times, they haven't had a conversation to be able to form a friendship between them, but nothing prevents Kakashi from deciding to help this ninja in the future. There is a high possibility that in the future they will meet and become friends, or even Kakashi will decide to train the young ninja. Seeing that Hoki is inspired by him, Kakashi could train him so that he could also use the same jutsus as him, or even see potential for more powerful jutsus than the ones Kakashi uses. Because as said before, Hoki is inspired a lot by Kakashi. His appearance is identical to his. Hoki entered the ambo just like Kakashi in his childhood, becoming a very skilled ninja and able to act without being noticed. After Danza lost his life when facing Sasuke during their confrontation, the Umbu was left without any leader to be able to lead them, and so Kakashi assumes this responsibility by becoming the leader of the Umbu. However, he leads indirectly, as his Hokage duties made it impossible for him to be a present leader, so through Sai he coordinated the group. After a while only Sai started to lead the Umbu members, and it was through all of this that we saw that Sai accepted the young ninja Hoki to become a member of the Umbu. Even at a young age, Hoki proved to be a prodigy. This makes Sai very proud, as he considers him the strongest member of the Umbu compared to other members of the organization who are the same age. It is quite clear that Hoki joined the Umbu only to follow in the same footsteps as Kakashi, because as we know, Kakashi was also a member of the Umbu when he was younger, which allowed him to gain great fame all over the world. Kakashi even participated in certain missions with Itachi Uchiha, who was also part of that organization, which allowed for a respect to be created between them, as they both recognized that they were strong. Because Hoki is in the Umbu, this represents that possibly he will spend most of his life in that organization, acting and following Kakashi's missions, and possibly Hoki's goal is to prove to be a very skilled member to have Kakashi's attention. And that can happen, and with it we can even see Kakashi decide to train him so that he follows in his footsteps, training a ninja so that in the future he can lead the Umbu. Because from an early age, Hoki has already shown himself to be quite experienced when it comes to espionage, in addition to having some very strong techniques and jutsus. By being inspired by Kakashi, he may at some point try to possess the power of the Sharingan, as well as Kakashi had, as we know Orochimaru probably has several hidden Sharingans, as he was responsible for implanting Sharingan in Danzo and Shin. So he might still have some Sharingan, possibly still have some eyes. He could ask Orochimaru to implant a Sharingan eye, maybe at Kakashi's request, in case Hoki is injured in the eye on some mission. With the Sharingan and with the help of some experienced medical ninja like Tsunade and Sakura, Kakashi would be able to hand the Sharingan to Hoki, giving him his title of copy ninja. Not only that, Kakashi could also teach him some of his techniques so that he could become even more powerful, so that in the future he would become the leader of the Umbu, carrying out the Hokage's orders without question. Hoki naturally has a very good memory, being able to memorize things quickly, and is also able to reproduce them easily, which allows him to memorize his opponent's attacks, gaining a great advantage over his opponents. Hoki seems to have an affinity for stone-style jutsus, but this is not limited to just that element, as the ninjas of this new generation seem to be able to use more than 2 elements, which may be the case with Hoki. So far Hoki has
Cash App's debit card is customizable and there's a glow-in-the-dark version so you can always find it. Just open the app, choose your color.
High-level jutsu like a Rasengan or even Chidori, but he has been shown using a jutsu where Hoki sends his chakra to the ground by slamming his hands on it. This causes it to grow numerous rock pillars that rise in various directions, forming a labyrinth that surrounds the enemy along with its user. Thanks to his memory, Hoki is able to memorize the labyrinth's corridors in a few minutes. This is what gives him a geographical advantage over his target, thus being able to corner his enemies very easily. If the enemy tries to escape the labyrinth gaining altitude, Hoki manipulates a single column, using it to attack his opponent. As a member of the Umbu, Hoki has some techniques that only members have, such as the barrier technique against mental attacks. This technique is taught to Umbu members so that they are able to resist attempts to break into their minds, preventing confidential information from being leaked. In order for it to be learned, it is necessary to undergo a very high-level training, something far beyond what a beginner ninja would normally be capable of, demonstrating that Hoki has a great capacity for evolution, since he was able to learn a very advanced technique. If this technique is performed poorly, in the worst case, the user will have their own mind destroyed. The technique is activated when an enemy invades the user's mind, either to control him or to extract information. Inside, the invader will visualize the user's image in a terrifying way, creating a giant creature that devours the opponent. The terror caused by this vision makes him lose control of the technique and he automatically loses access to the ninja's mind. This allows the user to free themselves from the mind control their enemy was trying to exert over them, so they would be able to defeat any ninja that tried to capture them. As for example the techniques that Uchihas who have various jinjutsu and are able to even take the life of an opponent if he does not resist. The Yamanaka clan who are experts in mind control and other styles of techniques are also dangerous for members of the Umbu. Hoki using only these two techniques already proves to be a very skilled ninja for his age, managing to use advanced jutsus that even adults would have difficulty using, demonstrating that he can become a very powerful ninja in the future just like Kakashi. Kakashi can one day train Hoki because as we saw earlier, several powerful ninjas trained young ninjas because they saw the great potential they had to evolve, so they trained them to see their real powers. And that would be one of the possible reasons why Kakashi could train Hoki, because as said before, he is quite skilled even if he only demonstrated two techniques. Because Kakashi is a very skilled ninja, he also has the earth style like Hoki, which would allow him to teach him some interesting techniques for the boy. Kakashi could also teach Hoki to summon the Ninken, dogs that have heightened senses and abilities. Kakashi's Ninken have the ability to use human language, walk on water, develop combat strategies, and have an investigative sense as well. The ninja's powers along with earth manipulation techniques are capable of utilizing some unique jutsus, such as the technique where Ninken are summoned and run through the ground following the scent of their opponent's blood. When the target is found, they come out of the ground. After that they bite the opponent. They do it in a way that keeps him immobilized with their mouths. This would be a very useful technique for Hoki because as a member of the Umbu he needs to act without being noticed to be able to fulfill given missions. Through this power, he can immobilize enemies in order to extract information from them or even prevent opponents from achieving their goals. And finally, he can teach his defensive techniques using earth-style jutsus, such as the technique we see that Kakashi raises a large stone barrier in front of him allowing him to defend himself from certain attacks, or even an even more powerful technique where we see Kakashi forming several walls that form a circle, preventing the passage through that place, leaving the only way out being over this circle of earth. Kakashi would be able to teach him several incredible skills, making Hoki one of the most powerful ninjas, gaining great prominence and having his name immortalized by several achievements for being one of the strongest ninjas of his generation. But now I want to know about your opinion. Could Kakashi train Hoki to become strong like him? Could Hoki acquire a Sharingan to also be recognized as a copy ninja? What other techniques could Kakashi teach? Leave your opinion in the comments. Thanks to all of you for watching the video to the end. I hope you enjoyed the content and information in today's video. We hope that we will always continue together talking about the news of the anime and the manga, so comment your doubts, news, or what you think will happen in the anime in the future. Also comment on the new videos you want to see here on